You better watch out, Ramses. You better make sure that you don't see this lady in the subway or on the street because she's gonna cut you. Hello, everyone. We're here today to talk about the final episode of season 7 of Love is Blind, at least the final one before the reunion. So this is the episode where the weddings are supposed to take place. So as we know, we've got Taylor and Garrett, Ashley and Tyler, and Ramses and Marissa. 3 couples, we end up with only 2 at the end. The bride and grooms who actually made it to the altar had their joint bachelorette and bachelor party. I have to say that it looked like Netflix spent a whole lot more money on the bachelor party at the Wizards game versus the ladies' bachelorette party at that event space. Like, it looked very nice. The food was probably really good, but I think they could have spent more money on it, done something a bit more special for the ladies. But let's start off with Taylor and Garrett, our good old faithfuls. So the day of the wedding, we see them both approach the venue. They come at different times. They're both wearing white Converse, so obviously they're very in sync. And so we see Taylor, she has a moment with her mother. Her mother gives her, I think, her baby bonnet, or a bonnet made from the blanket she had when she was born at the hospital. And Taylor's dress is actually different from what she showed last week. Her dress this time was short versus the full-length one that we saw last week. I like that other one better, but this one was nice. It's fine. And then we meet her dad finally, and we see her dad has a conversation with Garrett. And I actually saw the sneak peek yesterday, so the Tuesday before this came out. And I saw a clip on YouTube. And for somebody who didn't want to be on camera, Taylor's dad is very affable, he's funny, and very telegenic. So I was surprised to see him present that way. And he has a conversation with Garrett, and of course the same usual stuff about, I love your daughter, I'm going to treat her well. And they have a moment about the pocket square and the tie and things. So that was nice. And then later on, Taylor has a moment with her parents as well. And we also see Garrett have a moment with his parents. Now, I'm glad they showed up to the party, to the wedding. And I saw some people say, oh, maybe his parents don't really like her because she's Asian and they didn't want him to marry somebody who's not white. I don't think I don't know these people, they could be racist, who knows, but I think it more has to do with the fact that he's going through this whole process. Again, I think that this whole idea of Love is Blind is crazy. I think it's ill-advised. I hope none of you guys try out for it. If I had a son, or if I had a sibling who said, hey, I'm gonna go on a reality show where I'm gonna meet somebody and I'm going to marry them after 6 weeks, I would not be happy about that in the least, especially his parents, who know him very well. They know his personality. They know that he's not one to jump into things. This whole thing would be very jarring. But he mentioned that, yes, this is a crazy thing, but I have been very methodical about it. Using his science background, he thought very logically about it. Every day he took a pulse check to see, okay, am I still in this? Do I still love her? Do I still want to do this? And yes, he wants to do it all. And so they were there, and I'm glad they showed up, because if they hadn't have shown up, that would have been a wet blanket, a dark cloud on the entire wedding that would not be good for their relationship long term. So if I were them, I would, like they chose, I would show up and put it as happy as a face as I could to make sure that this day was good for them. And they get married. They have their vows, they're joking, they're kind of casual with it. It's all lovely. They have their party and it's good. There's not really too much else to say about them because everything went off with no real problems. But we do see a problem with Ramses and Marissa. So in the last episode, we see Ramses looking very hesitant. Apparently he had a phone call with somebody and now he has wet feet or cold feet. And so we learned that he's been talking to family members. He talked to his niece's mother, and she brought up the fact that the ex-wife is still hurt from their divorce, and now he's thinking about all the ways he hurt her. It's like, okay, she's hurt from the divorce. Most people are hurt after divorces, whether they want to divorce the person or not. Divorce isn't really fun. And why are you just now thinking about this? And Ramses is going on how things have changed, even though he still loves her. He's not sure if they're compatible, but he's being very vague. So Marissa is asking for some specifics. And then he tells her that their energies are different. It's like, their energies have always been different. He's always known this. He said that he knew it in the pod, but I guess in real life, things are different. Now, this is my thing. Again, I think this whole idea is crazy to marry somebody who you just don't know. But if I were to meet somebody and I found out that they were in the military and they're going to law school, those two things would tell me something about their personality. It would tell me that they're very regimented, they're very driven, they're very kind of by the book, and they think things through and they just execute. So he knows that he should know this about her personality. And I think when we go back to that conversation they had on the boat about the wedding plans and if she's going to get the mom the gift, if he's going to get the mom the gift and all the things that he needs to do and things like that, he might have thought, oh, well, she really is a very driven and detail-oriented person, and he's just too laissez-faire. He should have figured that out a long time ago. And then what I really did not like about it is that it felt as though Ramses was putting the onus or the reason why he has decided not to go forward with the marriage. He put the onus on Marissa. I felt as though he wasn't taking accountability for it because he says, oh, it's not me. It's not you, it's me. And she's like, you literally said that it's because of me and our energies not meshing. I think he shouldn't have been in this competition, as Marissa said. I also think a lot of the things about the military and their kind of perspectives on like sex and birth control, I think those are the real things that he doesn't like about her, or that he sees himself being incompatible with her, and he just can't admit it. And again, he should have had the foresight about these things in her personality. And I really hated that Marissa kept on saying, oh, is this what you really feel? And she was trying to bargain with him. Luckily, she changed her mind, and I did notice that the lighting went from light to dark. So this was shot in the fall. They're in DC. So this conversation could have gone on from, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to about 7. Who knows? I have no idea. But it went on for quite a while. And I hated the fact that she was bargaining with him, because if somebody is questioning whether they should get married to you a day or two before the wedding, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And you should have a husband or a fiance who is certain of himself that close to the wedding. And I just felt really, really bad that time, when that part where she mentioned, I was looking for somebody to choose me or to accept me and my personality. And again, it was really an affront. I felt as though he really insulted her. And when she was crying, I felt really, 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 really bad for her. Marissa seems like a nice lady. I think she dodged the bullets, but I hate, again, the fact that it had to happen this way. And thinking back to it, I think this breakup is worse than Tim and Alex's by far, because he was so gung-ho moments ago, and now he's totally changed. And then she called the mom, and the mom was upset. It's like, you better watch out, Ramses. You better make sure that you don't see this lady in the subway or on the street, because she's going to cut you. Marissa probably would have been better with Bowden. So who knows? Maybe we'll see on the reunion if Bowden shows up. Maybe they could be together. Now let's talk about Tyler and Ashley. Last week, I said that I wasn't going to mention things I've seen on social media or online about Tyler, because I just wanted to keep things in universe. But now I've seen so much that I feel as though I can't ignore all the external information that I have. So again, Tyler said that the mother of his children was a woman who was in a lesbian couple who needed sperm to have a baby, and that he didn't know what these kids looked like, or he didn't know if the kids knew what he looked like. And I was thinking about this. Ashley really should have asked a different question. Mind you, she should have been told this to begin with, but I would have asked, have you met them? I think that would have given a more concrete answer. Anyway, online, I have seen pictures of him with these children who look, at least one or two of them look a lot like him. I have seen pictures of him with the mother and these children. And I have seen the mother release a bunch of either TikTok or Instagram videos talking about how, yes, the first kid, it was for she and the wife. And then the second set of kids, twins, they were birthed just from a night of sex, really. So I don't know if they were drunk or whatever. They were adults. They just like slept together. And then they have these 2 kids. But like Tyler was a very active participant in that. And I don't know if legally the other mother has rights to the kids. I don't really know. I don't know what Tyler's claim legally to the children are. But I did hear that he was with the kids up to a couple of days before he left to go film this thing. And that a few weeks into it, he deleted his Facebook page that had all the pictures of he and the kids. So he is fully immersed with these kids, or at least he was. And apparently he owes child support too. I don't know. Anyway, as far as I know from what I've seen on this show, Ashley only knows what Tyler has told her. And I don't know if there are some off-screen things, if Tyler told her the full story, but I'm going to assume that she just knows what we saw on last week's episode or the week before, whenever it happened. So with that, we see her talking to her mother, talking to her grandmother, talking about her own father, who we learn, I guess, was cheating on her mom. And again, we know that Ashley's very traditional. She wants to get married. She doesn't believe in divorce. She has talked about God and God being a part of this whole process. She really, really, really wanted to get married. And so seeing this wedding happen, I just felt as though this woman is walking into a lie. And I can't be happy for it. I saw how emotional Tyler was. I saw him have an emotional moment with his mother. We finally meet his family, his brother. But I feel as though she's walking into a lie. And I can't be happy for that. And again, I don't know what Ashley knows, but I do think that even if she knows the real story, I could still see her marrying him, and that would totally be her choice. She can do what she wants to do. But if she doesn't know that he has kids from his own free will, I think that should be, I don't know what the annulment laws are in the DC area. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't think it's fair that she's going into a marriage without having full information. And this, for me, calls into question the vetting process of this entire show. Because I feel, especially with the men that we saw in episodes 1 and 2 and going forwards, not the guys that were just there in the quarters that never really got to, be coupled with anybody. I feel as though the vetting process is not good enough. I feel as though one question they should ask going forward is, do you have any children, which I'm sure they probably asked, but they need to be very direct. Do you have any biological children? Have you produced any offspring? Because that will cover everything. That will cover children that you've, any sperm you've donated or eggs you donated or whatever. That will cover all types of children that came from your body. And I think that there should be a lot of questionnaires and sessions with therapists or relationship experts, references from your friends or family to get a sense of your real character. And of course, with all those types of safeguards, there still could be people who fall through the cracks who just aren't marriage material or not ready for marriage at this point, of course. But I feel as though more steps could be taken, because frankly, the only men who I think really wanted to get married is Tyler, even though he lies. There's Tyler and Garrett and Bowden, from what I gathered from him from the time that we saw him. And that's it. I didn't think Nick really wanted to get married. I don't think Ramses really truly wanted to get married. I don't think Leo wanted to get married. I don't think Steven wanted to get married at all. Again, I think the entire premise of the show is insane. I think it's ridiculous that these people are marrying people who they just met without knowing them. Marriage is a big deal. Again, of course, it has to do with the love and the romance of it all, but it is a big legal commitment, which involves emotions and finances. I don't think marriage is something to be taken lightly. People who are not married can be just as in love as people who are married. But when you are married, you've got all those other entanglements that could really mess you up in a lot of different ways. And so that's why I'm very happy for Marissa that she got out of it before she tied herself up with a guy like Ramses, who was just unsure of himself. I think Taylor and Garrett, again, they are more solid. I think they're more level-headed, and I think they think in a more scientific type of way. So I think they'll be okay. But Ashley and Tyler, I'm really curious to see what happens in the reunion next week. I heard it was filmed about 2.5 weeks ago, and I am positive that Ashley by then found out about Tyler's family situation. So I would really like to see what they say. And if it was shot 2 weeks ago, perhaps they can do like an epilogue that reflects all the news that we learned on the weekend, I think it was, so a couple of days ago. So that's it for me for Love is Blind until next week. I'll see you later. I would love to know what you think about this episode. Leave your comments so we can start a discussion. And yes, thank you for watching me here on I See Melanie, and I'll see you later.